Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. This morning I wanted to talk about an interesting phenomenon I've seen throughout the magical community and people who are considering coming to Magick. And honestly, it's one of the reasons I think a lot of people come to Magick originally. And I've gotten at least 3 emails this morning already that I've read over it and I've had to respond to. And it's an interesting topic. But I don't think most of us as practitioners ever give it the time of day it needs to explain it. And as I went through my morning routine of straightening up the kitchen and doing the different things that I do before I get in here into the office, and of course, making me some coffee, I was thinking about this and thinking, is there a way to address it? And I realized very quickly, actually, there is. And that question is, as you've probably seen from the title of the vlog, using magic to win the lottery. Now, the people come to this question from 2 positions. If magic works, why isn't every magician rich from winning the lottery? Or people who are coming to Magick wondering, how do I use magic to win the lottery? And I have seen people study magic for 30 years. The only spells they ever do is spells to win the lottery. And they constantly buy their lottery tickets and play their supposed strategies. But they never sit down to think about the practicality of winning the lottery, and they never sit down to think about how magic works and how that would affect the goal of winning the lottery. So let's talk about that. We know that magic, on a practical standpoint, is the manipulation of energy currents and patterns to bring a possible reality closer to our position to manifest. Okay? Now this sounds like the perfect utensil to use on the lottery, and it would be, except normally when you're doing spell working or a manifestation, there may be 1 to 20 people, depending on what it is, working to achieve the same goal, and therefore your magic is only being put against certain other people's wants or desires. And more often than not, most of the people that you're competing with are not magicians either. So you're really the only one doing magic. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this where you will have multiple magicians competing for something, but it's still on anywhere from, a handful of people, maybe to 100 people. Job positions can be competitive, And then there's things where you're not really competing. The resources are there and abundant enough that it's very easy for the energy to find a pathway to bring it to you. This is one of the reasons prosperity magic is so effective when you're not specific, because it can just start pouring that prosperity in, and if you utilize the prosperity wisely, you can just start growing that in ways that's going to really, really change your life. How does that apply to the lottery? The lottery, the Powerball, whatever you want to call it. Every state has their own, and some states have a mini. And the thing is, there are millions and millions and millions of people buying tickets and competing for that one manifestation. And many of them, countless of them, are magicians, are practitioners that are using magic. So think of this as a normal spell working is like a tug of war. You're holding one end of the rope, the spell attaches the energy to the thing you're trying to manifest, and you pull it to your life. You just reel it in. Competition is other ropes connected to that rope that you're pulling against. And the more things you're pulling against, the more energy it takes, the more focus it takes, the more mastery it takes. In the case of magic concerning the lottery, though, you're pulling against millions and millions of people which is very unpractical and very unlikely to manifest a result. And on top of that, superstition is a form of magic. Even people who aren't practitioners per se, they have a lot of their own lottery superstitions to manifest a win. And they will continue to do those. And that's actually putting additional energetic ropes into the pool to pull against. And of course, every person's going to have some vested interest. So every person just, again, dilutes the odds of manifestation. And this is why it's really not a practical goal. Now, someone out there is probably going to drop it in my little messages below and say, hey, Drake, I've heard of practitioners who've won the lottery. Yeah, you have. But look at the numbers. Actually take the time. Just because you heard it happen doesn't make it likely it'll happen again. When you look at the numbers, I've heard of people winning the lottery. They do it all the time. That still doesn't make it likely I'm going to win the lottery or anyone is going to win the lottery specifically because of the numbers. And when you look at the numbers, even the magicians and practitioners who win the lottery, they're smaller than the average because of just the sheer dilution in numbers makes it impractical. Not impossible, impractical. And I know a lot of people who seem to be basing their life, their retirement, and their future around winning the lottery. People, please don't do this. If you are a practitioner, first off, you should actually have a bit more mastery of your life and shouldn't be relying on an outward happen chance such as the lotto. I've seen plenty of people build real wealth using magic and using common sense financial knowledge and do so quickly. And many of them start when they're 18, 20 years old, and they are capable of retiring when they're 30 easily. Perhaps it is the modern day ideal of we don't want to do anything, we're just freaking lazy and we want 100% reward for nothing and we want it now. We don't want to take the time to work for something. We don't want to take the time to earn something. I don't know, but I do know when it comes to the lottery, it's not a practical one. And there are a lot of things you could spend your money on that would be far more practical. I actually know someone, and this was actually kind of funny. Instead of lottery tickets, because they realized they were spending anywhere from $10 to $20 a week on the lottery, that they started putting that same $10 to $20 into an exchange-traded fund in the stock market. I currently don't remember which one it was, but it was just one. They really didn't understand the stock market. They just understood this is a collection of stocks, so it's not really risky, but it has a potential to make them money. So instead of buying their lottery tickets every week, that money would go into that every week, every week, every week. And they weren't paying attention to it. They just kept putting the money in automatically. Just click, click, click. Inside 6 years, that fund had grown freaking massive. They had only invested a little over $5,000, I think it was. But the fund itself, its value that it had gained for them was over $15,000 in just 6 years of doing next to nothing with it. And that was put money that they would have been using to buy lottery tickets anyways. And this goes to show, depending on how we utilize our resources, could actually affect the outcome. Now, I do try to message back and explain many of these things to people when they ask me questions about practicality. And that's one reason I think this video will be a nice little vlog, because this is essentially me answering the question for future people who have it. Now, if you have this question, if you stumble across this video, or if you considered it, or you've been doing magic for the lottery, don't think yourself stupid. You're not. There's a difference in stupidity and non-practical. A lot of people pursue a lot of things that aren't practical, and it's not because we're stupid. We want to try stuff. Heck, the entire entrepreneur spirit, if you will, is trying things out that's more than likely going to fail. I have failed at a lot of things in my life. A lot of them. I went to what my grandfather called hard knock college. I had to make a lot of mistakes to learn. And you couldn't tell me anything. I was too stubborn. That was a fault of my own, but I did learn. And if I knew way back then what I know now, my life would be very, very different. And that is one of the reasons I love to share information in hopes of helping someone avoid the mistakes I've made and helping them to manifest the life they want much quicker. Now, the lottery can be fun. It is, I know for some people it's a social activity. I know one lady, her and her friends all buy a ticket once or twice a month, and they get together and they have a little lotto party social thing. And so it's something they do together as a social event. And I don't know if they each buy their own ticket or they split the tickets. But it's a social event. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's cheaper than a movie when they get together and have a great night. That's fine. That's different than, other things. And there's nothing wrong with the lotto. And for those of you who've played it and won, mugs up to you. Heck yeah. But when we come to practicality of manifestation, the odds are very much against you, even as a practitioner, due to the way energy flows and works, and the fact that millions of people are working to manifest the exact same thing at the exact same time, thus unknowingly working against you. And that does create a problem. So, if you're looking to better yourself and your finances and you're wanting to use your magic to help, don't put all your eggs on the lottery. Okay, don't place all your bets on the lottery. Work on building your overall prosperity in your life. And as you're doing that, because some people's like, I need to change some stuff now. Also look at your spending habits. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but our spending habits can be some of the worst things. One of the things that, for me, the spirits and the dragons always have to rein in when I'm looking at budgets is dining out with the wife. I tend to spoil her, so we go out and I spend a lot of money on food at restaurants when I could easily do it at home for far, far cheaper. And like a fool, more often than not, she'd actually rather me cook at home too. So, not the brightest thing for me to do, but I do it. So, yep, that's my random thoughts for this morning, and hopefully this helps you all to understand why you don't see more magicians winning the lottery. And honestly, another thing is, if magicians could manipulate energy so that every magician could guarantee to win the lotto, there wouldn't be a lotto, it'd go bankrupt. It actually works on a system that is, the odds are against you. It'd be bankrupt and there would be no lotto, so it wouldn't even be there for fun reasons. Also consider that. Resources are finite, no matter what the resource is. And if you harvest them quicker than the resources can replenish, there's no resource. A lot of people forget that. But another thought, though, is if you all would like me to discuss more financial magics or ways that you can utilize magic and basic financial knowledge, let me know. Drop a comment below. Let me know. I'll share what I can with you. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't consider that. This isn't any kind of financial or legal advice. But let me know and I'll see what I can do about doing more vlogs or videos on these topics. Discuss it as we have a little bit of coffee. Also, join us Friday and not Saturday. Saturday's my day off. Friday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live streams. Great way to start and end your weekend. And we do now have the channel memberships. you can click the little button below. It helps support the channel, gives you some members-only perks to the channel. When all your support really helps out a lot, and we appreciate it. Also, for those who haven't heard already, Dragon Magic 102 is available over at theworkingdragonmystic.com. Just click on the courses. It's available there with many of our other classes. And with that, I'm going to finish my coffee because I can already hear the jets making more and more noise. So they're going to be ruining my vlog very soon. You all have a fantastic day. I'm going to get to work making some more content and doing some research. Till next time, everyone, have a great day. Mugs up.